Stop chasing happiness, focus on this instead. So over the past 23 years, I have trained thousands of men how to stop thinking that happiness is some far off finish line that they're never gonna reach. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to become bulletproof every single day. No excuses. I've spent the last 23 years refining a discipline to not only affect my life, but also to help my clients' lives so that they could get out of these limiting beliefs, self-doubt, this idea that happiness is something outside of you, and learn how to actually internalize it so that they can have control over their minds, their schedules, the outcomes that they want to live. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my 5-step blueprint that will help you understand not only how to capitalize on your daily wins, but also how to stop chasing happiness like it's a ghost and thinking that it's something outside of you and far away from you. In this video, you're going to learn how to internalize it and how to manifest it and call it up on demand. Stop treating happiness like it's some kind of far off destination. You have to every single day embark in the concept of understanding the little moments of happiness. And you may be thinking, I don't think little moments of happiness are going to actually help me have a motivation to keep winning every single day. But see, that's the principle. That's why it's so powerful. One of the things that I recently did is I sat down and I thought, man, what are these things that I'm changing that I'm just not, I'm chasing, I'm not feeling confident in? And I was like, how many times in my life have I truly, genuinely felt loved? And I don't mean loved by another person, but loved by myself and loved by God. And I sat down and I just journaled them. And I wrote them out. And it took me a minute because the state of mind that I was in. And I was sitting down, I was on the roof, and I'm like writing, and I got one. And then I was like, well, fuck, this is depressing, right? So I sat there for a little while longer, and then I started writing out. My mind started getting into the zone, and I was like, all right. Before I knew it, I had about 15 to 20 of them. And I was like, all right. Those are real wins. Anytime you start to feel negative, you can bounce back to those wins. That's why it's important to do it when you're in the moment. You're writing those things down. Number 2, use comparison to ignite your drive. Now, you may be thinking inside your mind, yeah, but if I compare myself to others, won't that crush my motivation? Won't that make me feel like less of a person? There's a couple of things here that we need to reframe and we need to look at. If you're thinking that way already, the first thing you need to do is only compare yourself to you. And that's the previous version of who you were. When you start getting confident in that, it is important to pay attention to what's going on outside of you. You don't want to think that just because you look at other people's success that breaks who you are as a human being. If it does, there's an insecurity and a lack of confidence in yourself. And that's one of those things that you want to start addressing before it becomes a monster and you're not ready to address it. But comparison gives you a measuring barometer to help you understand where you are compared to everyone else. But I will tell you, the biggest person you're going to compare yourself to is the previous weakest version of you. And you're always in comparison against the you of yesterday. The you of yesterday is kind of the bitch that kept you in the position that you were in back then. It's not going to help you be more. And this is one of the reasons we want to journal our wins and our successes, because if something did work yesterday, I want to captivate on that and I want to beat it today. I want to actually capture it and go, man, what worked yesterday? How can I leverage that today? Number 3, humble yourself daily. Now, I think there's a lot of people, especially in the religious community, that sit down and go, what this means is I self-deprecate on myself. That is not what humility is. Humility is not sitting there talking and being fake and saying, you know, I'm not good at this when you know you are. Now you're just a hypocrite and you're actually a fake ass human being and nobody wants to be around you because you sit there and they know that you're full of shit. So what you want to do is you actually want to humble yourself from a stance of what could I do better? How do I grow? What are my insecurities? And you got to be brutally honest with yourself in this approach. And you start to dive in and you go, man, why am I lying? Why am I lying to myself, telling myself that I'm good when I really know I'm not? Now, you might be getting comfortable, but I'll tell you, anybody that's willing to outwork you will outrun you. And if they are willing to do harder work than you because they're more driven, they're more hungry, they're going to leave you in the freaking dust. And if you're on that treadmill of life, if you're not running forward with humility going, how do I get better? Because you're competing against yourself every single day, then somebody else who is doing that is going to beat you at your own game. Number 4, control the controllables. Now, in your head, you may be going, man, I can't control everything. I can't control the weather. I can't control my job. My life is so chaotic. My wife is this. My job is this. Stop. That's why I said control the controllables. What you can control is what is inwardly. Those are the things that when you say, you know, what can I control? I can control my feelings. I just have to discipline them and exercise them the same way I do my muscles. I actually practice daily, sitting there for 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 20, feeling joy. And I fully immerse myself in it, utilizing the 4 V's, the vision, the voice, the visceral, and the vibration. If I were really happy right now, what would I need in order to really be happy? And then I say, I am, and then I go into it. And then I start feeling that visceral response 2 inches below my belly button where the dantian is and the energy is. And then I start going, okay, great. All right, that's the visceral. What's the vibrational frequency of happiness? Well, I wouldn't be sitting here worrying about shit. I'd be happy, right? And then you start visualizing, what would that look like? Like, what would that feel like? And I start seeing the people in my life that would actually be around me, wanting me all also to be happy. And then I start going, man, if I was vibrating at that frequency, how would I feel? And then I start holding myself in that posture. So when you start to actually control the controllables, such as you, it doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. Now, those things are real and they're going to have an effect on you, but you can change the meaning of them. See, the event plus the meaning that you give it equals its reality inside of your life in the outcome. So if you sit down and you go, well, my girlfriend just left me, all's lost. Guys, I get it. I understand heartbreak sucks, but you are the one that gives meaning to that. And God's the one that's in control. So you got to surrender that specific area to Him, trust in Him, and believe that His will be done, and you got to move on with your life and do what you got to do. I just got fired. Okay, well, that sucks. Next, you just opened up space to do what you need to do, right? Like energy's constant. It can't be destroyed or created. So when you sit down and you're like, man, that was just taken out of my life, you need to understand that something else is going to fill it. And it's either going to be filled with something bad or something good. That's up to you. You've got to choose what you're going to focus on and be deliberate in what you're going to allow to fill that space. So instead of being negative, control the controllables. Number 5, raise the bar continually. Now you may be thinking in your mind, yeah, but if I'm not ever content, won't I just keep, I'll just burn out. I'll never be happy with anything. I'm not talking about never being content in life, but raising the bar is different. Raising the bar means that you are always striving to be better and greater. You're not suffice with just doing the bare minimum. That's why you get that minimum wage. That's why you get minimum effectiveness. That's why you get minimum whatever the minimum is. We're not minimum men. We're men that are high value that want to push ourselves to the next level. And the only way we can do that is if we keep breaking the old standard. Because as soon as somebody broke the 4-minute mile, somebody else broke it right after. Because everybody, once they see you can do it, they now have faith. They believe it can be done. So if you do it and then start to rest, everyone else can be flying past you because you became the proof that it can be done. So now you're sitting there and you're like, that's all right. I'm just going to rest for a couple of weeks, a couple of days. And before you know it, you're fucking broken, homeless, and they're stealing all your shit and you live in a cave. Right? I know I took that way too dramatic, but you get the idea. What we do is we constantly raise the bar. We keep going. We level up every single day, every single time, because when we change the standard, everyone else is going to know that it's possible. So as men that are high value men and we want to be successful, we got to keep moving the bar higher, because as soon as we become the proof, everyone that is your adversity and your competition is going to start to capitalize on it. Okay, so here's a quick summary of what we went over. Number 1, we stop thinking that happiness is a destination, and we carry that happiness with us throughout the journey of life, understanding that this is not just your birthright, it's a God-given gift. If you're not happy and you go through life, number 1, nobody wants to be around you. Number 2, we start breaking who we actually are to try and fit somebody else's mold of happiness. I did this in the past, and I'm like, dude, fuck. Like, I was miserable. Why was I miserable? Because I was trying to be their version of happiness. I'm not happy that way. I want to be me, and I want somebody who loves me for who I am, and I want some friends that want to be around me for who I am, and I want to be in an environment of proximity of people that embrace that happiness. You've got to have that happiness inside of you. It's not a journey. It is in you right now, and it's available anytime you choose to become mindful and present and put your attentiveness and your breath on that. And that's what's going to destroy doubt, is your ability to become present. Number 2, you want to actually compare yourself to yourself and constantly be in a competition to be better than what you were before in mind, body, spirit, word, truth. This is how you level up and get to the next level. Number 3, we maintain true humility. Why is that so important? Because when we actually look at something and go, that's cool that I did that, but it's not enough. I got to go further. That allows us and empowers us to actually become the true potential of who we are as people. If you're still alive, you're not done yet. I'll tell you, when you actually figure, it's funny, I've talked to so many people and they're like, man, as soon as you figure it out, you die. Okay, cool. So if you're still alive, you haven't figured it out yet. Keep pushing. Number 4, we control the controllables. Stop trying to control things outside of yourself. You're going to exhaust yourself and it leads to nowhere. Control the things you can control, your thoughts, your words, your actions, the things inside of you. And some people will argue semantics on this and go, yeah, but if I were to do this, then that. Guys, it's a principle to give you the flexibility and adaptation that you can start functioning in a resistant environment and still make it work. Control what you can control. That's the principle. That's the technique. Number 5, constantly raise the bar. This is what keeps you from getting surpassed, but it also is what keeps you from becoming mediocre, and it's what keeps you from actually getting complacent. When we get complacent, especially as men that want to actually push the needle, we want to actually be something that leaves a legacy for the future to follow. We have to always push beyond where it's at. We don't settle. We don't accept that what is just enough. We want to be greater, and I think that this is part of how we drive true spirituality, is that people look at it and they go, man, you can do more. You can be more. One of the last things Christ said is, he said, the things I've done, you shall do in greater. And I was talking to to a lady the other day and she goes, well, I don't think that that's what he meant. I think that's exactly what he meant. I think that's why he freaking said it, right? Like, we're supposed to do what he did and more. We're made in the image of our maker. We're supposed to be showing that through the power of belief and the power of drive that we can do and be more. And that's the purpose of why I'm here for you. I have taken these principles over the last 23 years and I have trained thousands of men how to do exactly what I'm telling you right now. And if you're ready for a personalized version of this on how you can level up and you can actually become your full potential, I want you to click on the link below to schedule a call with my team so that you can get that personalized version for you and then see what the options are for you to take it to the next level. I'll see you on the other side.